Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 10 o'clock news continues on KPAX, Montana's news leader.
Well, whether you're ready or not, the 2018 campaign season is off and running, getting off to a lively start Thursday in the Capitol.
As MTN's Mike Dennison reports, scores of candidates for state and federal office paid their fees to get on the ballot, including a half dozen hopefuls for Montana's 2 top races this year.
The battle for Jon Tester's U.S. Senate seat and Montana's only U.S. House seat topped the ticket in 2018, and candidates for both races came to Helena Thursday to make things official. 4 of the 5 Democrats who want to challenge Republican Congressman Greg Gianforte paid their $1,740 filing fee at the Capitol, including former state senator Linda Moss of Billings, who was first in line.
I work at the grassroots, and I plan to take my grassroots work to the halls of Congress.
Close behind Moss were the 2 Democrats who've raised the most money in the campaign so far, Billings attorney John Heenan and former Land Trust Director Grant Keir of Missoula.
We need somebody that's going to stick up for Montanans, not do the bidding of corporations and the ultra-wealthy.
I care about Montana values, and I think I have the track record of working across party lines with people of all types in Montana to help them succeed every day.
Keir reported later Thursday that he raised $248,000 during the last 3 months of 2017, putting his fundraising total at $450,000. Heenan hasn't released his totals yet, but it's expected to be about $500,000. Former State Representative Kathleen Williams of Bozeman is another Democrat in the House race, and she filed Thursday as well, saying her depth of experience makes her the best person to take on Gianforte.
My 3 terms in the legislature gave me a strong, progressive advocacy and voting record, while also being honored by the Chamber of Commerce for my work with businesses.
Gianforte will file later in his quest to win a second term after winning the seat in a special election last May. 2 of the half-dozen Republicans hoping to challenge Tester also filed Thursday. State Senator and orthopedic surgeon Al Olszewski of Kalispell and Troy Downing, a high-tech entrepreneur and businessman from Big Sky. Downing, a first-time candidate, said his non-political business background is just what voters are looking for.
I think that America's hungry for people who've had success in the private sector, who've built companies, who've made payrolls. I think that's important.
Dozens of legislative candidates joined the fray Thursday, and both the Democratic and Republican state parties had their troops on display with dueling news conferences in the Capitol. It's hard to draw any political conclusions from the first day of filing, but one thing seems clear. Voters will have plenty of faces to choose from in the races for U.S. Senate and U.S. House in Montana this year. Mike Dennison, MTN News, at the Capitol.
The final deadline for candidates to file in Montana, March 12th.
In the local races, the big news, a new candidate gunning for the seat of Flathead County Sheriff, former undersheriff and co-founder of Two Bear Air, Jordan White, announced his candidacy. White has lived in the Flathead most of his life, has 19 years of law enforcement experience. You'll remember current Sheriff Chuck Curry appointed White to the position of undersheriff when he was elected in 2010, but 2 years later, White resigned to create Two Bear Air Rescue, the helicopter rescue program that serves Montana and Idaho. He left that position last year to further his career in law enforcement. White will host a campaign kickoff at the Split Rock Cafe in Kalispell on Thursday, January 25th. After the break, a teenager in Seattle still recovering on the ICU after nearly being hit in that big train derailment.
But he has a simple message for the responders who saved his life. His emotional story coming up next on KPAX.